Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and on this video tutorial we're going to do the first stuffed Christmas tree of the season. And I say first because we will be doing a lot more. They're super fun, they're so easy, and you can make them completely unique. So this is where we're going. And this was the inspiration. I picked this up yesterday at Walmart in the Christmas section. They had 3 sizes of these adorable little Christmas trees. And I came home and started putting on my thinking cap to figure out what I wanted to do. And we're just gonna play with this idea a little bit today. So let me set this over here. Okay, so what you're gonna need to do the project that we're working on is you're gonna need some of this canvas duck fabric. It's called canvas duck. You can get it at any fabric store. You can get it at Walmart, you can get it at Hobby Lobby. It's just a really thick canvas, so you wanna make sure that what you're purchasing is nice and thick and sturdy. And this is an oatmeal color. And then we're also gonna use, just to do something different, we're going to use some of this, which is cotton batting that is used inside of quilts. Okay? And we are going to use some vintage buttons, some little doodads to stand our Christmas tree up on, possibly some of this Dollar Tree lace. We're going to use some dowels. These came from Walmart. We're going to use some pins, scissors, a glue gun, and then we're going to be making our own fabric, which is really cool because I want to tell you this whole idea. Okay. This is called the Victorian pattern stencil. It's my favorite. I use it every other day, it seems like. Okay, this is my newer one that I've used about, I don't know, 8 times, I'm guessing, including today. We'll be using that, and then today we're using these inks from MagnoliaDIY.com. This one is called Glittering Gold, and this one is called Glittering Silver. And Magnolia has some new inks that are some more glittering colors, which I've ordered mine and they should be here tomorrow night. They have a glittering copper, a glittering rose gold, and a glittering black. So I'm going to do a whole forest of trees with very natural components and metallic colors. So let's see. Okay, well, that's where we're going. And let me show you what has happened so far. Okay, before I came live, I took a piece of my canvas duck and I laid it out. Here, we'll pretend that this is the one I did. Okay, I laid it out. I put my stencil on top of it. Pressed it down good, and then I did a little swirly-do technique where you take your 2 colors of ink and you just do dab, 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 all mixed up, and then you just do this. I've showed you guys that a million times, and honestly, I don't want to clean another stencil because I have been crafting today, so I'm not going to actually do that in front of you, but we are going to talk about it. Okay, and this is what I made. This is my swirly-do technique of glittering gold and glittering silver with the Victorian pattern stencil on this piece of canvas duck. Okay, then when it was dry, which takes usually about at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half, when it was dry, then I just put it on my ironing board. And I put a piece of parchment paper in between my iron and my piece of fabric that we made. And I just using cotton, no steam, I just went over it for 2 or 3 minutes. And it is not going to be washed, but if you did this with a t-shirt, a tea towel, a tote bag, a pillow, once you heat set the ink on your fabric, it is permanent and it could be washed and dried. Okay, and I want to show you these because this is something new I just found and I'm really liking it. Several of you guys have told me that parchment paper is expensive. And I've had the roll in the kitchen for so long, honestly, I don't even remember what I paid for it. But I wanted to look at Dollar Tree and see if I could find some parchment paper that wasn't too bad. And they had this in the cooking section. It's pop-up sheets, 25 of parchment paper. Just super handy to have where you're crafting. Makes cleanup a whole heck of a lot easier. So next time you're at Dollar Tree, check that out. Okay, so we made this piece of fabric. Okay, then what I did is I made my patterns. And we're gonna make a new pattern, but these were my patterns for the first trees. This was the front and back. And I just sketched it. This was the inside front. And you can see how, excuse me, those kind of go together. Oh, I have a sneeze coming. I'm so sorry. Well, maybe not. So this was my first set of patterns. That's just computer paper, nothing fancy at all. And now I'm going to do a simpler shape so that I can cut it out quicker. Okay, so I'm just going to do a Christmas tree, just straight. And one thing I like to do to get a symmetrical look is I'll draw it on a piece of paper and fold it in half. Okay, I think I'm going to actually cut it bigger than this. I don't need the second piece of paper because we're going to do the inside part with that. Okay, so here's my pattern. This will be the tree. So you're going to need one front and one back. Karen says she did not know that Dollar Tree has parchment paper. I know, and it's so convenient because look, this is how it works. You just pull it up a piece at a time. Isn't that awesome? I'm like, shoot, for $1.25 for 25 sheets, it could not be more convenient. Okay, so this is the outside of our tree, and I'm going to just lay it on this other piece of computer paper. And I'm going to trace it so I know basically where this one is. This is how I make patterns. Okay, so this is the size of the bigger one, and I don't want it that big, so I'm going to come in like 3/4 of an inch. And here's our inside part to go with this. And the layering, the idea of layering came 100% from these trees that I picked up as an inspiration at Walmart. Okay. All right, so for this one, this was the one I did before. And let me tell you how I did it. This front right here is this cotton batting, the quilt batting stuff. The back is plain canvas duck. I think I just knocked a button off, or I knocked something off my desk. Then I did the inside layer with a piece of our fabric that we made. I added some buttons and a little bit of lace at the bottom. I put a dowel in here. This is a big wheel. And then this is just one of those wood slices. So we're going to do this whole thing, start to finish, with this new pattern. but I'm gonna mix it up. I'm gonna do for the front, I am gonna have this be the outside pattern, the outside of the tree. Okay, and I'm just getting a piece off of this larger piece of fabric because I'm going to save it and do a bunch more with it. Okay, and then I'm going to fold this in half so it'll be symmetrical. And I'm going to fold my pattern in half. And I'm just going to pin it on here with just a couple of pins. And I don't have a PDF or anything of these patterns. They're just what I sketched. So there's nothing special about these at all. Okay, so my little pattern that I made is pinned on here. And now I'm just going to cut it out. Okay, I can fix that. It's a little jaggedy. So I see lots of people on. Thank you so much for the stars. Oh my gosh, you guys. If you're watching this live, let me just tell you, I am so super excited about Christ and crafting tomorrow. And this is one of those crafts we're going to do that just, it came to me as a request from one of you guys, and we're going to be looking at Psalm 42:1, which says, "As the deer panteth for streams of water, so my soul longs for you, Lord." That's one of the translations. And so I was thinking about that verse, and I was thinking about how somebody had asked me, could we make reindeer? And I said, yes, we can for sure. But I have to figure out how to do it so that you don't have to sew. You guys, it's not finished, but is that not the cutest thing ever? I'm not sure about this. There's my little reindeer. So I'm going to show you this tomorrow, how to make that. And we're going to talk about that verse. So I would really love to have you join me tomorrow for Christ and Crafting. Really, 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 really. All right, the next piece we need is going to be another of the same one for the back of our tree. This canvas that I bought at Hobby Lobby recently is not as thick as what I normally like it to be. So I'm kind of disappointed. I have to tell you guys, the canvas duck that you can get at Walmart is awesome. It's the best, and it's like $6 a yard. So I just folded it in half and pinned my pattern on there. But the problem that I have with that canvas from Walmart is that at my store, which is so close to where I live, there's never anyone in the craft section or at the fabric table to cut a piece of canvas duck. And so it's a whole production to get someone over, and then a lot of times it'll just be somebody from like the technology department, you know, and they don't even know how to do it. I'm telling them how to cut 30 yards. So, but otherwise, I really do prefer that canvas. It's thicker. Okay, so here's our front, and here's our back. And then I'm going to use some of this cotton batting Probably a small, I'm gonna maybe even do it smaller than this. I think I will cut it smaller, which means I'm gonna be cutting my pattern, but that's okay. I want mostly the Victorian pattern to show. That needle is not sharp. Or this cotton batting is really hard to get through. Okay, so I folded it in half. I'm trying to conserve, you know, so I don't have to use up more than what I'm gonna want. Okay, let's get this off. And now I'm gonna cut it smaller than what I have here. If you've never seen Christ in Crafting and you don't know what I'm even talking about when I'm talking about joining me tomorrow for Christ in Crafting, it is, Sundays are my favorite day of the week to craft. And usually what I do is, okay, so I made my pattern a little smaller, is we do a craft that relates to the Bible verse. And then, and so we're going to be making these stuffed deer using this cotton batting. And then we go into the Bible and I just tell you about what God is revealing to me that week. And we actually look at Bible verses and it's awesome. I try to do everything from the perspective of encouraging you. Okay, so I'm going to glue this little bit of cotton batting on my front piece. And do be careful because this cotton batting, when it gets hot, like if you would get cotton batting stuck in the glue and then you get it on your finger, and this is a low temperature Surebond or Cool Shot, it feels hot. It feels hotter than just having the glue on your hands by itself. Okay, so here's the front of this tree, and now I'm going to glue it to the back. We're going to leave the bottom open. Let me scooch my camera back just a little bit. The further back I put you, the less I can see what you're saying. But go ahead and comment or ask questions if you would like, because I will go sit down in my comfy chair. No, I'm not a minister, Trudy is asking. I'm a Christ follower. About, I don't know, 25 years. And I love talking about my faith. I love Bible study. I love just reading God's Word. So that's my story. Okay, so here's the start of our Christmas tree. And before we stuff it, let's get a dowel. Going to use one of these, and I'm going to look at it to see. It's probably going to need to be made a little bit shorter. So let me get these. This is what I usually use to make things shorter. I need a good pair of clippers. Okay. All right, so I think that's going to work. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, and I want to do buttons again because I love buttons. So these are all vintage mother of pearl buttons. Some of them I purchased at antique stores in my area. A lot of them you guys sent me, which is, oh, I tell you what, when I get buttons in the mail, that is my favorite thing, because I love to just sit down and sort, and then I like the process of cleaning them up. My favorite buttons are, I'll show you. Okay, I've just trimmed everything so it's even. My favorite buttons are these just mother of pearl that are white. And then I also love these mother of pearl that have sort of a grayish, purplish tone to them. But I like, these are made from shells, and I like the real thing. So, okay, now I want to get a bunch of little ones. Here's a little one. I was not fortunate like some of you guys have been to inherit, you know, like your grandmother's buttons or anything. But I have still built a pretty good collection, and I just love buttons. I also love these ones. Let me show you these. I haven't used these in a while. These might look kind of funny. They have, like, generally speaking, they have the two big holes. These are made out of carved bone. Yeah. And they're beautiful. Okay, I'll probably got enough right there. So I'm just going to do a random design, tack them down with a little glue, then we'll stuff it. I'll show you how to do the bottom of the tree. I want this to look like I didn't plan it. You know what I mean? I love these buttons when they still have the thread in them, because what was going on here was, at this time, buttons were precious, and when a piece of clothing was, you know, worn out, they would take it apart and use it for quilts and all kinds of different things, but they would cut the buttons off and save them. And that is why a lot of vintage buttons still have the thread in them. And I usually don't take that off because I think it adds a lot of charm. Okay, where did I have that? Let's see. Okay, and then let's do a little bit of lace again, because I really like the look of it on the bottom of a Christmas tree. I think it makes it look finished. And I'm going to have a whole forest of this, plus a forest of some of these reindeer that I'm going to show you how to make tomorrow during Christ and Crafting. So it'll all kind of coordinate, because it'll be neutral with metallics. And it is easier to put something like your lace on before you stuff your tree. This lace right here. Oh, thank you. Somebody said my stencil technique turned out beautiful. I have some other fabrics that I've made that I do want to show you, because, let me show you right now while I'm thinking about it, because I love to make fabric, and then we'll come back and finish this. I love to make fabric with stencils, and you could do like a ton of different things. Like this is that same stencil. It's called Victorian Pattern, which if you want to link to it, this is the most versatile stencil. If you ask me, it's my favorite. Depending on what color you do it, it can take on the look of a certain season. So I made some really cute stuffed hearts for Valentine's Day and a banner with that. And then here is a piece of white canvas duck that I used a couple of colors of purple ink on it. And this is a stencil called Flower Power. And then this is Lace Berries and red ink. Here is the Flower Power in navy blue ink. This I did just recently. This is a combination of a bunch of different colors of ink, like a turquoise and orange and a brown and a green. And this is the fall leaf all over pattern stencil. Here's the same deal. This was purple and green ink. And then I hang on to it because I can just cut little bits and pieces out of it when I want. Here's that same fall leaf stencil with black ink. Here is, this is called Daisy Pattern, but to me it looks like sunflowers. Seriously. It's a super cute pattern. And then here is a piece that has that fall leaves with the gold ink. So you can make your own fabric, and I love the idea of doing that. Okay, so let's put some lace on the back of this. I think these match, but if not, no, they don't match. It's one up above that I want. Yes, this is the one I want. And these, what I'm holding in my hand right now is a ribbon card. It's a great way to store your ribbons. I did a video about that not too long ago. And it's a super huge space saver. So if you didn't see that video yet, you can look through my videos here and pull it up and watch it whenever you want on replay. And then I give you all the information about where I put them and how, you know, all the details. Okay, so let me trim this up and then we'll put our dowel in. We're gonna stuff it. And then I'm gonna show you the bottom, which is important. Okay, look, see how precious it is already? And it's gonna look so good with this one. It really is. It's gonna be a different height too. Okay, so I went, this is all the regular doll polyfill that I have left. And I went to Walmart, because that's the closest thing to me today, to get more. And for Pete's sake, for some reason, I can't even imagine why, they had zero stuffing, none at all, in the craft department. The shelves were completely bare of that. So I was forced into another option, which is to buy a pillow and to take the stuffing out of this. And this is probably a better deal. I did get a firm pillow, so the stuffing is firmer, but I really prefer the polyfill over a pillow. Okay, so that's stuffed. Now I'm going to just put my dowel sort of through the center of the stuff and fluff. I'm going to tack it down right here on the back and push my stuffing up, and we're going to glue our front to our back. for the stars, guys. I didn't see that a stars party just happened. I'm not really sure that Facebook is still doing that with me. But in any case, I so appreciate it when you guys do stars. Because, you know, crafting like this it costs money to do stuff, you know, obviously, to buy canvas deck, to, you know, do everything. So I so appreciate that. Okay, this is a little wagon wheel. You can get these in a package at Hobby Lobby in a lot of different sizes. This is one of the Magnolia ornament wood slices, and it's what I have on hand, so it's what we're going to use. And it has the pre-drilled hole, but we're going to just kind of cover that up or ignore it, okay? So let me make sure that this is going to fit. Yes, it is. All right, so I'm going to glue this little wheel onto my round here first. This is going to give it stability so it doesn't tip over. Okay, and then I may come back and add some more buttons because I feel like it's missing something. Okay, and then I'm just going to put my little bottom of the tree that I cut shorter inside of this wagon wheel, and I just glued put a big blob of glue in there. There we go. And you know what? Now that I'm looking at it, I want it to be shorter. So hang on. Let's make it a little bit shorter. Hopefully I can get this back in there. Yeah. Okay. So this is what we have going on. These are the first stuffed trees of the season. Aren't they pretty? As soon as I get my hands on the metallic inks that I ordered from MagnoliaDIY.com, that should be here tomorrow night, I'm going to do some more. So I'll definitely come live next week and show you those. If you want to look, if you're interested in looking at inks or stencils or anything else, just say link in the comments or supplies or something like that so I know, and I'll get you a direct link to those things so that you don't have to go, you know, hunt around for what you want to see. So what do you guys think? Is this going to be adorable? This deer is way too big for these trees, obviously. This proportion was wrong. But I am going to do a whole thing together with them. But this was just my practice. This was the first one I made as I was kind of figuring it out. I did not use a sewing machine. This is just hot glue, and it was super easy. I'll show you how I did the ears. That was a little tricky. I'll show you how I did the little reindeer horns, how I did the legs. I have to figure out what I want to put on the end of him or her to be a tail. So this was the project for today. I hope that it inspired you. I'm trying to get in a good spot so you guys can do a screenshot. I love it. I love making my own fabric. I love, love, love using metallic ink. I love this glittering gold and this glittering silver together, and I cannot wait to get my new glittering rose gold, my new glittering copper, and my new glittering black ink, and they also have it in chalk paste. So I'm super excited about that, and I'll be showing it to you just as soon as I have it in my hot little hands. If you guys have questions, don't hesitate to ask me. I would love it if you would sprinkle this video to your social media. The deer will be tomorrow between 2 and 4 p.m. on Sunday, the 2nd of October, if you're watching this live. Of course, you can watch the video where I show you how to do this. You can watch it on replay anytime you want, but this will be Christ and Crafting. And we're going to talk about that verse from the book of Psalm. It's Psalm 46, verse 1, and it says, as the deer panteth, this is like the King James Version, as the deer panteth for streams of water, so my soul longs for thee, Lord. Something to that effect. And that just, oh gosh, it almost just makes me want to weep. So anyways, it's always been a super special verse for me. The imagery of it, every time I see a deer, I seriously think about that verse, and I think, Lord, I want to have that same longing that a deer would have for a stream of water to get some water. I want to have that for you and your word. So anyways, it'll be really good. Do I have a shimmer paste? Yes, they do. They just released them like 3 days ago. So I can get you a link and you can go look at the shimmer or glitter, whatever you want to call it, chalk paste, and they also have glitter inks. Oh, and they also have a glitter red, which is really cool, and a glitter in black. Yes, it's Eastern time, generally for Christ and Crafting. I do that on Sundays between 1 and 4 p.m. Eastern, depending on how long the project takes and how much studying and preparation I need to do for the Christ part of it. And what else we might have going on with our family is based on when I do it. Okay, there's a question. Can I use the stencils with chalk paste and ink from another company? Sure. Use what you have whenever possible. And then when that chalk paste and ink that you have from another company is gone, get the really good stuff, which is the Magnolia stuff. Alrighty. You guys have a blessed rest of your day. Come back and see me tomorrow for Christ and Crafting. Whether you're with me live or on replay, that would be awesome. Let me know if you want links to anything. Let me know if you have questions. I will get pictures as we're kind of going along because we're going to build a whole forest, and I have to get out the trees that we made last year. They're going to go with this just beautifully. Okay. All right. Oh, and check to make sure that you're still following this page and that you've turned on your notifications. And if you want to improve your odds, I hate to say that, but it's the truth. If you want to improve your odds that Facebook will ever show you what we're doing here at DiyDreaming, and it is, the algorithm is so difficult to understand. Anyways, if you've liked and followed the page, turned on your notifications, you do this, or say something to me in the comments, that is interpreted by Facebook that you want to see what's going on here at DiyDreaming, and then you're more likely to be served my content. But whether you're served it or not, you can come to this page on Facebook. It's DiyDreaming. Anytime you like, you can scroll through the videos and watch any video that I've made in almost the last 4 years, and there's over 1,000 of them. You can watch it on replay anytime you would like. So, alrighty. You guys have a great rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow. Bye. And I'm going to have fun cleaning up the mess on my desk. Alrighty.